Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2004. And we're getting things started off looking at the standings here in the SEC West, because we are currently a couple games over LSU, and LSU has a loss. So a win today going up against LSU, who is our opponent today at 8-1. If we do win today, we should be able to clinch the Western Division and punch our ticket to go to the championship game. On the Eastern side of things, South Carolina is currently leading things at 4-3 in conference, but Tennessee could still catch up to them if Tennessee doesn't lose another game. They should be able to overtake South Carolina, at least in the conference. And then looking at the bowl rankings, it is currently a three-horse race between us, USC, and Nebraska. But USC, doesn't play a conference championship game. So even if they were to win out, us and Nebraska would probably still have the better shot, better inside track to getting to the game. But USC would still, of course, have to win out. And then, of course, you have Virginia Tech and Maryland also sitting on the outside of things, looking in. So needless to say, we need to win. We just need to win. So this is probably the last really big test that we have. I will spoil things right now and tell you that we're not going to record the Iron Bowl because Auburn's really bad this year. Auburn is not good in this game, which we normally skip over. The LSU game is actually the better game between those two. So we really haven't focused on the LSU matchup. The only time we watched it was in year number 1, which we did win 14-3. But after that, things got a little weird. In year 2, which was LSU's best season in this dynasty so far, they've had pretty bbad years every year except for year number 2. And unfortunately for LSU in year number 2, the SEC was completely loaded. So they went 11-3 and went 5-3 in conference, which they've never improved on. That 5-3 is the best they've ever done in the sim. But they went 11-3 and didn't even get a shot at the title. So it didn't even matter. But they beat us 49-33 in year number 2, and then we came back and beat them 33-12 in year number 3, and then last year we beat them 45-29. And they've been around 500 every other year. They were 7-6 in year 1, 5-7 in year 3, and then they went 6-7 last year, losing their bowl game. So LSU has not been that great here, so they really kind of bit off or chunked off an actual good season this year, at least a good start to it, being the 10th team in the country. Just another top 10 team that we have to play. Go figure. And I didn't write down their skill position players for this video, but there we see their quarterback's name Brewer, so I'll at least be able to call out the quarterback a little bit. So. But LSU's already getting things started here in our territory, but on the 3rd and 4, Brewer's going to fire this one down the middle of the field. It's going to get batted around and picked off by Bates, who's probably cornerback number 3 or 4 on the depth chart behind Randolph and Blackwell. We've seen him a couple times. I think that's his second pick of the year, and we saw the first one. I think it was in the Army game I think he got, so better late than never, I guess. So, but the first quarter would come to a close. Not much would happen here, and LSU now trying to work it inside the red zone with an opportunity on offense as our offense has struggled. So in a 2nd and 10 now, Brewer moves in the pocket here, fires down the middle of the field, and wide open, he's got a man. Looks like the tight end, and he's dragging dudes with him into the end zone. So a very physical play, ends up in 6 points, for the LSU offense here, as Brewer able to find an open man right across the middle. Yeah, look at that. A whole mess of guys, and no one can bring him down. How can no one bring him down? I don't understand this, man. That is just, that one's going to be hard to explain to people. So finally, we're going to move things on offense. Tim Lewis on the run, makes a throw on the run, and somehow that is caught. I have no idea how any one of our receivers could come down with that. So we're going to call timeout because time is of the essence here, because we've wasted pretty much the entire first half doing much of nothing. So on 1st and 10 here, pressure's on to Lewis, and he's going to throw, but the ball's going to get stripped as he cocks his arm back to throw. He's going to land on top of it, fortunately, but that's going to be a huge negative play and a timeout wasted. So we're going to hand this one off to Lamont Farrell, who's going to get brought down right at the line of scrimmage. But that tackle, that arm got a little bit high on that tackle, and LSU's going to get called for a 15-yard face mask. So not only does that erase the deficit that we were in here on that drive, but it also gives us a fresh set of downs and goal to go inside the 10. So we get a huge lease on life here on this offensive drive here. So on 2nd and goal, Lewis moves in the pocket here, fires across the middle to Chad Whitaker, who steps inside the end zone grass, and he's going to get his first touchdown of the day. And we finally answer back to LSU, who up to this point in the first half has pretty much just been dominant. Their defense has been smothering our offense offense, and while their offense hasn't really been rolling, they've been doing, they did enough just to get points on the board, which is something we were unable to do. But the first half comes to a close, tied at 7 apiece. LSU getting things started in the third quarter, and it's going to be an interception as Brewer finds George Leon, and there's no one back there as Leon's going to take it into the end zone for a pick six. So if you can't get it done on offense, just do it on defense, I guess. That's the golden rule here. I think everyone knows that. And Brewer, didn't see him, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of is he didn't see George Leon just kind of sitting there on that route. So that's a beautiful defensive play from our defense. And Leon's had himself a couple picks this year, and that one comes at a major time. So 14-7 now your score, and Brewer going to continue moving this Tiger offense as much as possible as he gets the team inside the Alabama 45-yard line with that completion. So he's got a great stash, too. I noticed that when I edited. He's got a good stash. 2nd and 10 now for LSU's offense. Brewer's going to try and run the option. He's going to pitch this one off to the running back, and he's going to get brought down at the sticks. A pretty generous tackle animation is going to get him closer to the 20 than it is to the actual line to gain. So, that's an unnamed running back, by the way. LSU still is an unnamed running back. So we saw an unnamed player in Tennessee, and I guess there's still a few. And I think he's also the Heisman frontrunner, too. I just want to say that. They have the Heisman frontrunner at running back, which is probably why they're so good this year. But either way, on the next play here, Brewer is going to find an open receiver in the corner of the end zone, just kind of surrounded by guys, but no one was really playing him that close. Just kind of got behind our dudes. So LSU's going to answer back to the pick six, and things are tied here. So on a 3rd and very long, Lewis steps up in the pocket in some pressure, unloads, and finds Chad Whitaker, and he's going to get brought down at the 20-yard line. And now we're going to get another red zone opportunity on offense after a humongous pickup. And Lewis, man, all the credit in the world for just kind of standing in the pocket, composed, and just kind of taking the potential pressure or contact to get rid of that football and unload it downfield. So good for him. Looks like we're just outside the red zone at about the LSU 21, but that will not last for long as Lewis is able to find Chad Whitaker again, I believe, who hauls that one in for another first down. So from the 11 now, Lewis drops back here. Pressure is picked up beautifully, and in a window, I have no idea how that ball was not picked off. No idea. No earthly idea how that ball just did not find the hands of an LSU Tiger. I mean, I'm genuinely confused. So, by the way, Lamont Farrell, look at that block. Oh, God, beautiful. Love it. Love to see it. But in double coverage, somehow that ball gets in the window, and I think it was Jody Quinn who catches that, I think. But either way, LSU's Heisman candidate running back is finally making his presence felt here in the second half with a huge pickup that's going to get LSU some nicer field position on this drive. So, but the third quarter is going to come to a close. We are holding on to a 7-point lead, but this one is clearly turning into a battle. We've been playing some sketchy football as of late, and it looks like it's going to continue. So on a 3rd and 5, Brewer running around in the pocket, not really sure where to go with it, does find an open receiver across the middle of the field, and it's going to be another completion, I believe, to the running back. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Now pressure's getting on to Brewer, and he just gets rid of it. I think the contact got home just as he was releasing the football, and it is going to be caught. But there is a flag on the field, another flag. So some hankies, and it's another face mask, this time on the Crimson Tide, as Bates, who had the pick earlier in the game, commits the atrocity. But it's only a 5-yard foul. And this time, not a 15-yarder that LSU had, but still it's going to help out LSU. And now the running back is going to get loose here and get into the end zone. David Ford couldn't get to the pylon quick enough as number 32 dives for the corner of the end zone, and he's finally going to get some points here in this game. So LSU's big running back here, finally getting involved, getting things involved here in this game. So he's going to tie things up here for LSU. But we have all the time in the world here. The cards are in our favor, and Tim Lewis unloads a deep shot downfield, and somehow Chad Whitaker one-on-one coverage. I mean, you can take that every time if it's Chad Whitaker, right? I mean, you never really worry about that. I mean, we got a couple freshmen, you could probably even take that chance, so not concerned. But a 3rd and 10 now, LSU's defense really trying to preserve here this tie game here, and pressure gets to Lewis as he holds on for too long. Took just a second too long to get rid of that football. Had a chance maybe to get rid of it, but that linebacker came out of nowhere, and it's a sack. So on 4th and 17, we're going to put the game on Marion Ferguson's leg, and he is not going to let us down as he nails this one through here, giving the Crimson Tide a 3-point lead. But a 3-point lead is not sacred. LSU still has time to answer back here. Plenty of time to answer back. But on a 3rd and 17, they're kind of running out of options here, and pressure is getting on to Bestman, but he does get rid of it somehow, and it is caught, and Cecil Randolph gets absolutely beasted on. And it's going to take the work of a couple other Crimson Tide defenders to get down that receiver. But Brewer was under some pressure, man. That pressure is getting in there, but it is not getting home, and it has to get home at this time more so than ever. So Randolph, man, just gets absolutely beasted on. Ugh, just disgusting. Oh, man. Rick Sloan had to come in relief there and make sure that tackle was made. But on another 3rd and 10, so LSU's defense really struggling. Pressure's on again, and it still doesn't get home. But this time, Brewer's pass, there is no one home for that pass as it sails into the grass, that inaccurate throw on the run. So they're going to have to hand us the ball back. And on 3rd and 1, we managed to pick up a crucial 3rd down thanks to Nick Allen, the fullback. And so we will be able to kill some time here, but we still probably need to get at least another 1st down in order to really kind of get in victory formation. So down to 50 seconds. Lewis wants to throw for it on 3rd and 8. I guess running for it probably isn't really smart. Going to try and maybe flip the fielder, I guess, but that pass is incomplete as that one sails out of bounds here. Just kind of a contested throw. I mean, I said you take the one-on-one with Chad Whitaker, but that time it was unsuccessful. So LSU's going to get the ball back with plenty of time still to work, at least to get into field goal range, and that play is going to really help them out as, again, the pocket collapses, but Bessemer finds an open receiver, and I guess it was the running back who caught that one. So 1st and 10 now for LSU. They're going to hurry back up to the line and get the spike off with just 29 seconds left to go. They don't need to go very far here to get into field goal range here, but they still need probably a couple plays to get there. So on a 3rd and 10, Bessemer rolls out to his right here, still looking. Pressure's on, and he dumps it off, and that one is going to be caught, but it is well short of the stick. So time is not going to stop, and LSU's going to have to hurry back up to the line for this 4th and 1 and run a play. They can't spike it. They're going to have to run a play. So 11, 10, if they get the play off here, they need to get at least 15, 20, and that pass is sailed out of bounds, and you might even want to say that was some old-fashioned NCAA pass interference as that receiver was stuck on Blackwell and just could not complete his route, but the game doesn't register that as PI, so we're going to go with it, man. Maybe a controversial no call, who knows, but Bessemer's pass sails out of bounds. I'm not even sure if that receiver would have got it, even if he was free. That pass looked really off the mark, but either way, man, I'm the coach. I'm supposed to say that, right? I'm the guy in charge. I'm supposed to say that, but we managed to hang on and beat LSU for the 3rd straight year, and this one was an absolute nail-biter, man. We cannot keep playing sketchy football games like this because we are begging to lose. We got the biggest games of our season ahead of us now. Of course, we can beat Auburn, but I mean, and we cannot keep playing sketchy like this going into those games. And as you can see, LSU outplayed us in many different metrics. Neither team was really running the ball that effectively, but LSU was still managed to do it better than we did. Their 3rd down percentage was even better as well. Both teams had about an equal amount of pressure on the quarterback with 4 sacks apiece. The turnover game is where they lost. I guess that's really the big deciding factor because, yeah, the pick 6 is what gives us, you know what I mean, like the 21 points even to beat them, to be in this position. Our offense really didn't do much of anything to keep us in this game that much. And Tim Lewis didn't even have that terrible of a game. 13 for 27 is not great completion-wise, but still 262 yards and 2 touchdowns. You will take that from him. So that pick 6, really kind of the dagger here that LSU did not need, that kind of really affected them. But they still had plenty of time to get within field goal range to tie the game at least, and they couldn't even manage to do that. Chad Whitaker really leading things in the receiving core. You're not surprised, though you're not. Rick Sloan leading the team in tackles at 10. Good Lord. Richards was everywhere with 2 TFLs and a sack. George Leon, of course, with the INT as well, and a TFL. So pretty productive for the defense, and then Marion Ferguson doing exactly what he was supposed to do, baby. And we pick up another massive win over Auburn. I mean, dude, I don't even know. Just looking at, I don't even know if we've lost to Auburn. I don't think we have. We don't lose the Iron Bowl. A huge 28-point 4th quarter gives us the win here. The game was presumably a little bit closer, I guess you could say, maybe. Not really. We were pretty much leading things off, and we just kind of exploded for a 4th quarter point onslaught here. So we're going to simulate through the next couple weeks, or the last few weeks of the season, to get to championship week, and there we are. So Tennessee did overtake South Carolina. Remember, we saw that South Carolina was leading in the eastern side, but Tennessee able to overcome that and take the lead here in the east. So, and the Big 12 championship is set between Oklahoma and Nebraska. Oklahoma, of course, doesn't have really a track to the championship, but Nebraska does. So the Big 12 and SEC championship games will decide if or who's playing in the BCS national title game. So as you saw, Nebraska has a pretty terrible passing offense. They have the 110th worst passing offense in all of college football, and ours is the 2nd best. So obviously they're a good running team. We're not the worst running team, but they're better than we are. So that might be an interesting clash. But we got to get through Tennessee first, man. We got to beat Tennessee again in the SEC title game in Atlanta. It's going to be another rematch of last year's title game. So hope to see you guys there for that game.